So today I'm going to do a second look at the Eachine Mustang P51D, and as you can see it's a nice looking tiny 400mm wingspan RC airplane. And I did a endurance flight, the first video I did, just to check out how long you can run the battery, and it was like in the vicinity of 15 minutes, which is really long time. And the reason why I'm doing this video is actually because I've bound it to my new Radiomaster TX16S. So I can, do the throttle and all the surfaces, they work just fine. And I've also programmed this one, so on the SE switch over here I actually have the 3 flight modes. So it's the beginner mode, the intermediate mode and the expert mode. And to me, when I fly this one, it doesn't matter which mode actually, because it just flies equally great. And it's quite easy to do all the aerobatics, although it's a tiny RC airplane, so you cannot go too far away because then you cannot tell orientation anymore. But I have to say that the reason why I got this one is actually because inside this one uses no ribbon cables, and the ribbon cables on the Jumper T16Pro was actually one problem I had, because I couldn't get some of the buttons to work, so I have to actually reverse some of the cables. So that's a kind of a quality issue with the Jumper. And this one uses no ribbon cables as far as I know, and it does also feature the internal USB charging. So I have this one, I run this one on a 2-cell LiPo battery, so it's it lasts a long time. And I have to say, overall, I think the screen compared to the Jumper T16Pro and this one, they are a bit different. I cannot say that one is better than the other. As you can see, I've actually marked the buttons on the side, which I think is necessary, because it's just stupid the way they've done it on this one, where they have like black text on black background and black buttons, so you actually cannot tell if there's if you're in direct sunlight or if you have a lamp. Of course you can tell, but if there's a dim light or if you're outdoors, it can be just impossible to tell what each button does. So I mean, that's a really bad thing, but I solved it by having some stickers on mine. And overall, I think one other difference is actually you cannot remove the antenna on this one. So this is, you can certainly swing it around and change the angle, but you cannot remove this. And on the Jumper T16Pro you actually can remove it. Also, this scroll wheel is metal on this one. But I will show you just the flight I did with the Mustang P51D, and it's just a enjoyable flight. And the thing is, you can fly this one so slow if you like, and I think when you go full throttle and pick up speed, it just flies nice. And I mean, overall, I cannot say more than this is just an excellent RC airplane. So let's watch the aerobatic flight I did. So it's winter day, and I have my Radiomaster TX16S and my Eachine Mustang P51D, and I think the landing gears are kind of rubbish, so I will just hand launch it. So first off, let's just make a few turns just to freshen up your sense of how this one flies. So it is a really tiny RC airplane, this Eachine Mustang P51D, but I think it's quite easy actually to tell orientation, although it is so tiny. And of course I am a bit high up because I want to avoid the buildings and the trees. And on this, maybe I'm like, I don't know if I'm 30 meters up or something. I'm just have a clear sky, so I don't have no chance of running into something. So of course one obvious comparison would be to compare this one to my Volantex P51D, which is a lot bigger of course, but it does remind me how it looks when you fly, and I think the flying characteristics are not too far away from the Volantex, although it's a tiny one, and you can certainly tell that it doesn't have any problem doing anything, although it uses just a brushed motor with a gearbox. I think this one is so well designed. So this is me just having fun. So I'm dropping some altitude to get it closer. Now we have a helicopter about 1 kilometer away. Usually helicopters they do fly at around 800 feet or about 280 meter height, and at maximum maybe I'll go up to 40 meters, so there is no risk of collision. And this is a fun one, just to play around with it and let it loose. It does everything you ask of it. So compared to the Volantex P51D, the Eachine is actually much easier to fly, and you can go extremely slow and just cruise around, or I think the speed is nice for this kind of sized airplane, and the ability to do things, as you can see, it does it without hesitation. It just I have to say, last year this was one of my absolutely best purchases I did, because it's so fun, and I'm certain the Eachine T28 is just as good. I have not flown it as much as this Mustang. So I like doing loops and rolls, as you can tell. And I won't go running this one for 14 or 15 minutes, although the battery will last at least 14 minutes. So I will cut this one a little bit shorter, because I don't want to make this video too long, really. And look at it, it's so nice looking. Although really small, when you fly it, it does really look scale. Upon close inspection, of course, there are no many details on this Eachine. But it certainly is aerobatic. It just wants to fly, wants to roll. And it wants to fly slow as well. So I'm going in for the landing. And as you can see, you can go really slow, make tight turns. I will put this one down on the snow. Yeah. As usual, the prop does pop off, but that's no problem. I haven't broken a prop since I got this one, and everything seems to be working fine with this Radiomaster TX16S, and much better than stock remote.